been holding off talking about this because I really don't know what to do. So I'm going to play a clip from Faith Spoonmore. That's clip number 3, Alex. Faith Spoonmore is the aunt of Ralph Yarl. So she gives us, through her voice, through her understanding, what happened to this 16-year-old this weekend on Thursday, Kansas City. Play it.
Last night, my nephew was on his way to pick up his brothers from their friend's house a few blocks away from his house. He didn't have his phone, so he wasn't using GPS. He was just going based on the direction that my sister gave him. Unfortunately, he pulled into the driveway of the wrong house, walked up to the door, rang the doorbell. A man opened up the door, looked him in the eye, and said, "Don't ever come back here," as he shot him in the head. My nephew fell down and the man shot him again. He was able to get up and ran to the neighbor who did not open the door. He ran to 3 houses before one of the neighbors said, "Put your hands up and lay on the ground." And then he laid on the ground like he passed out before the neighbor called the police for help. My nephew is 16 years old. You hear these stories about racism in America, and you think, wow, how sad is that? But then you have this little bit of hope because you feel like it's so far away and it would never happen to your family. It would never happen to you. But God, the people in this country are sick. And it's so hard to believe that this amount of hate lives in people. And they hate people based on things that are not even under their control. I cannot believe this is the country that we live in. This is the country. This is America.
Yep. Faith Spoonmore, the aunt of Ralph Yarl, who went to a street. He thought he was going to pick up his teenage sibling. He's 16, at a house at Northeast 115th Terrace. This is in Kansas City. But mistakenly went to a house on Northeast 115th Street. Those of you who live in different places, you know the difference between a street and a terrace, or an avenue and a boulevard can have the same number. He went to 115th Terrace instead of 115th Street to pick up his sibling. Officers transported. He's recovering. He survived being shot in the head by a white homeowner. He is Black. Ralph. He shot him through the glass door. Shot him again. And to his aunt's point, you think a teenager showing up to the wrong house should not potentially lose his life. And this person wanted to take his life. But what's even more egregious, that I'm sure this child ran to the neighbor bloody, ran to another door bloody. And instead of giving him humanity, he was met with police being called on him. Because even a Black child, and he looks like a child, he is a slightly built 16-year-old. Even a Black child who is near death is dangerous to people in this country. What do we do with this, Dr. Black?
Karen, I've been waiting on this all day. And there are 2 things I want to say to get us started with this. One of those is something else we have to admit that is so horrible and it's so ugly, but it's apparently true. Number 1, for this man to have shot him means the gun was already loaded. When the boy knocked on the door, the gun was already loaded. I'm talking literally and metaphorically. In other words, America sits in preparation of Black male destruction. It is ever ready. America is always prepared for black male destruction. It's simply looking for the excuse. We've got to understand that. And we got to understand that the protection of the Second Amendment is for this right. This one right here. Number two, a bloody boy showing up, a bloody black boy showing up on a doorstep in America. People read as trouble. People read as a problem. People read as criminality, because people's first question is, what did he do? They don't read as need. They don't read it as a human being struggling. They don't read him as victim. No, a bloody black boy is always predator. Always. So when people close their doors, they close their doors to a ravenous beast, metaphorically speaking. This is the same thing that happened in terms of Trayvon Martin, right? How in the world did this big old man think that this 120, 130-pound boy was a threat to you? Because he's black and he's in America. And black and in America by itself is, especially male, black and male in America means you are the target. And what I'm saying is, unless and until we absolutely reify and reshape the image of what it means simply to be a black male in this country, this is going to happen over and over. In fact, it's going to happen so much, Karen, that we're not even going to have time to adjudicate these cases in court, because there will be simply too many of them.
We were talking about the shooting of Ralph Yarl, who did not die. That 16-year-old survived a gunshot to the head and other parts of his body, and then the lack of attention. And he's still here, so he's supposed to be here. Right. And not that if people aren't here, they're not supposed to be here. But I just feel like this is too much. And you were framing the need for seeing our children ourselves as human first. How do we even do that, Dr. Black? How do we make people see us?
I think two things, Karen. One of those things, and I think what you're saying is exactly the answer. And that is, we have to create black male humanity. See, what we've been doing is we've been waiting on white people to agree to it. That will not result in black humanity. That will not result in black humanity. We have to create it. And as black people, we have to make it. See, again, this notion that white people have to at one point acknowledge our humanity. They actually don't. They really and have not done so. And I'm going to say two things. Number one, we as black people, one of the things we have to do is touch our sons 10 times more regularly in order that the beauty of their human existence blooms earlier. We need the boys to look like human beings at 14. Not 45. That's too late. It's too late. And the second thing is, we need to teach, somebody's not going to agree, but I'm going to say it. We need to teach, there are certain feminine principles that boys need desperately. Because of our fear of homophobia, because of our obsession with masculinity, we try to keep boys away from anything feminine. But there are feminine things that are salvific to black male existence. Somebody's going to get this one day, Karen. Somebody's going to get it one day. Somebody's going to get it one day. This is one of the reasons why, even among us as black people, there are 90% of the time, Karen Hunter, when our boys go to jail, black people agree. How do you know? Because we're not marching outside no jails crying freedom. We think they're supposed to be in there. We hate that they're in there, but we agree. And I'm saying that because we are too afraid to teach boys certain feminine principles that would actually create their humanity differently. Things like an exposed vulnerability, the ability to speak your heart, to speak what you need, these things humanize a person and allows It allows a person to understand who they are and to speak themselves differently, even when they get in trouble. See, the question really here is, when you get in trouble, what does your character give you?
Mm.
Ooh,
What does
God.
that mean, Dr. Black? What does that
That
mean,
means
Dr.
things like,
Daniel Black?
when a boy gets in trouble, the first thing most boys think about is, can I whoop ass? See, that's a masculine in this point, and it's too extreme. It's too extreme. As opposed to, when I get in trouble, right? What are my skills of negotiation? When I get in trouble, can I make my tongue obey my heart? Can I close my mouth? Why? Because I might get my pride wounded, but I can heal that. I can't resurrect. And we've got to teach Black boys new strategies of living in the midst of Babylon. Not just this notion of, listen, no motherfucker is never gonna whoop my ass. See, that turns into aggression in places where aggression is not the thing that's gonna save you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And without
Yes.
these strategies, we keep burying our boys.
I'd also like us to not define being in touch with your emotions, with your heart, the ability to be able to strategize and negotiate with your mouth as feminine qualities.
That's right.
I think I think when we start to assign genders to
right.
survival tools, it then becomes a thing, a wedge item for people to resist and push away because they don't want to be. But we need to celebrate people who have the ability to articulate, to negotiate, to express, I feel sad, or I'm scared, or I'm, all of the range of emotions. We only give our children 4 emotions to work with, and there are hundreds. And there's a young lady that has she has something called Somacom Labs, which teaches emotion EQ to children at a young age, so that they can express, I'm not just mad, I'm sad, I'm lonely, use all of the words.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's a 3 million word gap in our community. Teach the children all of the words so that they
Absolutely.
can express and navigate these spaces.
Absolutely.
Because it is literally killing us.
Absolutely.
To not have this ability, and it hurts our relationships, quite frankly, because those same children go into adults who can't express themselves.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Can't apologize. Can't even understand why you should apologize.
That's right.
If every apology says, "I'm sorry that you feel that way," that's also problematic.
Absolutely.
If you can't even acknowledge the hurt that you caused.
And I'm gonna even say one other thing, Karen, because people have wondered, years ago when racism was worse, they weren't even killing Black boys then like they're killing them now. Like, what changed? And here's what's changed. We used to know who the trickster was. We taught the trickster, we taught the trickster as Black cultural survival relic. We taught people how to conjure the trickster when you get in trouble.
Mm.
People how to, because we agreed. We didn't agree then, we don't agree now. But because you come home alive. Now, I'm my own individual. I'm myself. Right? And what I'm saying is, it's costing us our lives.